Hello friends, welcome back to my beautiful gardening life. And I have finally decided to stake my Monstera. So it's going to be a DIY stake which I'm making at home. And there was this large piece of plastic mesh that was lying around from the fencing that we did last month. So I'm using the same. So I have just rolled it together and held it together with this plastic tie-ups. And what I have decided is, instead of getting a ready-made one, I'm going to fill this DIY stake with wood pieces and maybe some leaves. So as we go through, I'll show it to you. This is a Monstera that I was talking to you about. This Monstera has been growing like crazy and putting out a lot of aerial roots. And as you know, Monsteras love to climb. And also they are top heavy, so even if you are trying to keep it somewhere, it just tends to fall down. Even if it is leaning against the wall, it tends to fall down. Also with its aerial roots, I was trying or thinking and hoping for an air layering that I would do in the future. So I have just stuck in the aerial roots in a small bag with some soil. Okay, since it was leaning on a ready-made one which I did not attach it still, I'm going to get rid of it and start with my homemade stick. So to give it a support, I am using a wooden stick or a putty, just so that the stake stands in place, otherwise it will just wobble about and fall down. So here I am sharing the process. Do watch it. Once I have secured it in the pot, now the pot should have space for it. You're not going to take a pot that does not have stake. Then the idea would be to repot it and then go in for a stake if it does not have place in the pot. So what I've decided is that I'm going to fill this stake with pieces of wood. I've taken a coir fiber, I've taken coconut chunks, I've taken leaves. So I'm just going to fill this entire stake with these pieces and then going to secure the Monstera to it. Also, there is lot of aerial roots to this plant. Now the idea is, aerial roots are the most essential part of growth of Monstera, because it kind of sucks in the moisture for the plant and it helps in its growth. Many a times people don't like it. There are a lot of views that they do not like the aerial roots, so they tend to chop it off according to preference. But since there are a lot of them, I'm trying to tuck them inside the stake, so they kind of give a support to the plant, as well help it in growing by getting moisture for the plant. I have tried my best to put in the aerial roots into the stake because of this benefit. Monsteras are easy to grow plants. You just have to give them ample of bright indirect sunlight, and also watering is only and only when the topmost layer of the soil goes dry. I have recently, like 2 months back, repotted it. So I have used a very well-draining soil with lot of river sand, coco peat. I've also used a vermicompost and perlite. So this would be the sufficient fertilizing that is required for the plant. You can fertilize it maybe every month with a very diluted fertilizer. And now, since I have already staked it, I want the stake to be wet. So I'm watering my Monstera. I'm giving a special preference to the stake so it absorbs the moisture for it and provides it to the plant. So this is all. I hope you like this video and it gives you ideas and also suggestions to put up a DIY stake for your own plant. This is where the Monstera actually lives. It gets this bright indirect sun. It is towards the wall and it is enjoying the space of it. That is all in today's video. I see you again in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.